The responsibility is now with Parliament. Treasury can only convince us that what they have proposed makes sense. And that's why we have had discussions up to this hour, because they can only convince us that this proposal we are making makes sense because of this. But the passing of the law now lies in Parliament, and we will have discussions as a committee. We will have a report which we will present to the main house, and if they agree with us, that is what will be carried. So I think some Kenyans think that because the budget was read yesterday, it's fait accompli. It's not. The finance bill has to be passed by Parliament. It may, and it is unlikely that it will be in its original form, because we have also had a lot of public participation, stakeholder engagements, and we have to take in some of these views by the public and the sector players. There have been a lot of discussions, as you had, that there is introduction of 20% excise on steak. So the question was whether we proceed with it as it is or we shift the burden to the companies. So it's still discussion. It's still under discussion. So by the end of the weekend, the committee will have agreed on some of these areas that are in contention. KRA here, we have had discussions. They're going to be able to raise maybe 2 trillion if they really try, 2.1 trillion. Of course, now that leaves a gap of almost 1.5 trillion. Of course, you're going to ask the question, where is this money going to come from? So by approving that budget, we of course have inadvertently allowed government to borrow. So I think as we move forward, Parliament carries as much responsibility as the executive as far as our debt burden is concerned. Not just this Parliament, the last Parliament. I've seen people, like Honorable Dwale coming to say our debt is very high. The debt is not for today. The debt is when he was majority leader for 5 years and another 3 years in this Parliament. So nobody can shift that responsibility. If we try to shift it, we will just be pretending. What we've seen is a lot of the tax measures have remained the same essentially. Overall, from this finance bill, knocking off what has been exempted vis-a-vis what is being taxed should raise just about 1.3 billion. So essentially the finance bill is to align some of these items, but also having conversations around some of the issues that affect the common mwananchi, and we are seeing whether we agree with their proposals or not. And some of these areas include the taxes on motorcycles, on bread, and the conversation here is, if bread is exempted, does this have the same effect as if it's zero rated? What else can we do to cushion the common man while at the same time raising revenue for government? So those are the discussions that we have had.
Process of budget making, we've clearly spelled out all tax measures, including how we are going to spend the revenue. All of them have been given in details. But today we were asked by Finance Committee to come and clarify certain areas. And we've had very good engagement. There were a number of issues, and we are just basically restarting what we said yesterday. And it's now up to the committee to look at them from a position of more knowledge, because they just wanted that explanation. Betting has become a serious social vice, mainly to our youth, and now it's even extending status to our mothers. You call, somebody tells you, bet, you are going to get these additional resources. No, we want to discourage. And if they want to be in business, let them pay for it. Let them pay for it, the companies, and even individuals who choose to bet. Let that pain that you are doing at a cost that you cannot manage is what we want to achieve. I want to confirm that the finance bill did not propose any additional tax on bread. There's nothing like that. What we did is that there was an inconsistency in different laws, that on one part is giving exemption, on one part is being zero rated. And we only insulate zero rating for export goods, because the idea is just to encourage our people to export with the view of getting foreign exchange. That is the time we zero rate. And when we zero rate, we give now further refund we support those industries that are exporting, and we give them VAT refund. But are we exporting bread? No. And therefore we want bread to remain at exemption. There will be no tax on it, no VAT on it, and there wouldn't be really any need for anybody to complain that the bread prices are going to increase, because nothing has changed. We are giving a lot of tax reliefs on locally assembled motor vehicles, at the same time also motorcycles. And we spelled it very clearly yesterday. And as a result of those incentives, a number of motorcycles and motor vehicles have started assembling here. Up to 17 companies for motorcycles are already assembling. They import completely knockdown kits. They come and assemble here, create jobs for our people, and also be part of the manufacturing process. This is what we want to encourage. And further to giving all these concessions, there will be no tax addition on this matter. What's happening is that others have started, they are continuing, instead of now getting the motorcycles from the country, they prefer importing it in complete form, where there will be no adjustment on it. And we are telling them even up to the one of 100 cc, there will be no tax on it. In fact, the amendments that we've carried out in the finance bill will make a motorcycle cheaper, as long as less than 100 cc. It will actually be cheaper. So the notion that the complaint that maybe it's going to become expensive is unfounded.